Want to grow in your faith? Grow a field of clover. Confession, life, Our Lady, vocations, Eucharist, and revealed word. I'm Father Danda, and welcome again to another Malachian Minutes. This week I want to talk to you about Eucharist. Yes, the Eucharist is called the source and summit of our faith. It is the real presence of Jesus Christ that we believe becomes really and truly present, substantially present in that host, in that wine, after the priest prays the prayer of consecration over it, that it remains Jesus, and it is substantially changed, even though it still retains the appearance, the looks, the smell, everything else of bread and wine. It is substantially and really Jesus Christ. And one of the best stories that I can really tell you, that is, I don't know how you could walk away without a doubt in it, was a miracle that happened in Buenos Aires when a younger Cardinal Bergoglio, the cardinal of that city. And so it happened that a lady found a consecrated host in the back of church, and she brought it to her pastor to dispose of, which is the appropriate thing to do. And so the priest took that host and put it into a glass of water, basically, and he put it in the tabernacle to dissolve, which is one of the approved ways of disposing of a host. And so a few days passed, and he had not gone into the tabernacle for one reason or another, and he opened and looked in, and there was this bloody-like substance there. And so, of course, he contacted Cardinal Bergoglio, who told him to have it photographed and attended to. And then eventually they decided that they would send part of it off for a scientific test. And it was a blind scientific test. They just sent it off. They didn't say what it was, that this was just a host from Mass. But the results were pretty amazing. After the blind test, it was determined that this bloody substance was blood that came from someone who was a universal donor, had that type of blood, that they were Middle Eastern of descent, that this was blood from a crime scene, that there was a traumatic event that must have happened, some kind of murder or something that must have happened, that it was actually tissue from the ventricle of the heart that pumps the blood. So it's heart tissue. And then to their amazement, they said, well, it's human, but we don't have an exact DNA that we can get on it, and it's living. You know, they said what's amazing about this sample is that once this sample was taken away from its living host, it should have died immediately, but it's alive. That was just an ordinary piece of bread at one point. Was it still ordinary bread after the consecration? Not according to those scientists. It was the heart tissue of a man who was brutally crucified, of Middle Eastern descent, and they had no idea exactly whose blood and DNA it was, but that it was human. How could you not believe when you see a miracle like that, know that there's a miracle like that happened, that was tested by science? That's Jesus. And we are so blessed to have been given this great gift of Jesus. And so every time you come into the church and you see that tabernacle where he's really and truly present, give him that right veneration. Bend down on your knee. Acknowledge his presence. Come spend time with him. He wants you to spend time with him. He loves you so dearly. He's calling for you. The Eucharist is the source and summit of our faith. And Jesus wants you to fall in love with his Eucharistic presence, as it's really one of the greatest gifts of who we are as his disciples. Love that Eucharistic Jesus. It's one of the main reasons I knew God was calling me to be a priest, and I was drawn to be a priest, was to give the Eucharistic Jesus to others. May God bless you. Until next time, I'm Father Danda.